Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning from Thailand. My name is Suriya Klangrit from Mahidol University, Bangkok, Thailand. So, I would like to take a few minutes to talk about my paper. It's about the cultural identity and textile art design, a cultural heritage preservation for Thai-Khmer ethnic groups in Surin province, Thailand. And before I begin my presentation, I would like to express my feeling of gratefulness to Northern Illinois University in the US for accepting my paper and allowing me to present here today. So, I will be brief about 20 minutes and I will be delighted to answer any questions you may have when I'm finished. Okay, let's begin. So about the introduction, let me show you the background about the area of Surin province. So Surin is in the northeastern province of Thailand, or on Isan, or we call the south of Isan, which is 470 kilometers from Bangkok. So this area the area is of about 8,124 square kilometers and is divided into 17 districts, so within the province, right? And so in province there are so many ethnic groups who stay and live in the area, such as Gui people, Lao people, and Khmer people, or Khmer. All of them are ethnic groups in Surin province. Okay, but let me show a little bit about the history of the Surin province. So we could say that in Surin was settled and roughly the same time as the Khmer Empire was established. So the subsequent fall of the Khmer Empire affected Surin with wars abundance for 3 decades. Oh no, sorry, the 3 centuries. So the accumulation of the ethnic groups, Lao, Khmer, and Gui people. So especially the Gui by Luang Surin Pakdi encouraged the development of the Surin city in 1763. And about the Surin border, northern, near Cambodia, and a historical and cultural context, which means that the Surinese or Surin people have had contact with Khmer culture for many centuries, and consequently Surin has been inspired by Khmer cultural traditions, and this is seen in the region of cultural heritage, like you can see silver smithing or Prakurm, folk music like a gun drum, traditional medicines, or textile art design. So you can see all of this. We call it local wisdoms or of Surin province or Surinese, or for the ethnic groups in Surin province. At the present day, Khmer people in Surin province refer themselves as Thai-Khmer or Khmer Surin or Khmer people or Khmer. So distinguish themselves from Khmer people like in Cambodia. So significant number of ethnically Thai Khmer ethnic groups also live in Buriram, in Sisakhet provinces. Despite the modern border and divided and different to each. So Khmer community ethnical across in Southeast Asia, similarity in culture, in language, religion, and the way of life persist. So the Khmer language and Khmer ethnic groups is an Austroasiatic language. It is the earliest recorded and earliest written language of the Austroasiatic groups family. So the Khmer Empire former glory and enduring significance is a source of the pride for Khmer people regardless for whether they will in today. So the Khmer people believe that the various art forms, religious practices, political structures, and philosophy that contribute to the lasting success and dominance of the Khmer Empire. That's why. So have been passed down. So this knowledge or this culture has been passed down from generation to generation and continue to influence of the beliefs and worldviews of Thai Khmer people today or Khmer ethnic groups. The Surin province is home to the people from different ethnic groups such as Thai Khmer people, Thai Gui people, and Thai Lao people. So in Surin province is famous for silk, textile, and silverware production. Or the evidence in the provincial motto, it said that Surin, the land of big elephants, splendid silk, beautiful silver beads, many ancient temples, sweet radish, fragrant rice, beauty together with culture. So this is the Surin motto. So it shows like I could say that in the motto it can reflect the cultural identity of the Khmer, of the ethnic groups like of the people who live in the city, in the province, especially to Khmer people who have like distinguished or outstanding or well known in their cultural identity. As I will talk about the Prakurm. So Prakurm is a ancient Thai Khmer silverware or handicraft for ethnic groups, or I would say it is a local wisdom of Thai Khmer ethnic groups in Surin province. So Prakurm refers to a silver object whose method and creation and cultural significances form a body of local knowledge in Surin province. And it has been passed down over generations of artisans in ethnically Khmer communities. And so many Thai Khmer people in Surin province feel that Prakurm materials such as beads manifest their belief in supernatural powers and bring good fortune and peace. So, however, the cultural meanings of Prakurm are steadily disappearing as the objects become ornamental market communities as commodity in the fashion industry. So the origin in local belief systems are covered up and they are appreciate only their surface beauty. And the status of Prakurm nevertheless remain the complex. The beads are symbol of the local culture, heritage, and Surin identity. So they are one of the most well-known and frequently purchased handicraft products by tourists in Surin province. Okay, so the social, economics, and cultural situations worldwide in Thailand has been changed from a traditional society to be a modern society. So with the impact of technology and globalization. So especially the economics from sufficiency, household economy for life in the family and produce product for selling or exportation, like as from household for exportation running with the capitalist system. So the social economics and social structures of Thailand or in the community has been trained into the capitalism and of the service and industrial system. I told you, okay. So the subsequent course The consequences cause the way of life of Thai people both in urban and rural area. So in the local culture of the ethnic groups such as the handicraft, handmade, silk, cloth that were produced for using in the household of family or trained to produce for selling. That is moreover, modern technology are being used for the production process instead of the traditional technology. So especially handicraft handmade such as the silk cloth and jewelry or silverware, all of those that have affected to the people who who are living in rural area in the Kingdom of Thailand. Community present at the present time in the literature review, those phenomena perspective has driven me to exciting and curiously to know about the changing and application for developments, especially about the cultural identity and the Thai art design as one of the cultural heritage of Thai-Khmer ethnic group in Surin province, Thailand. So like I'm going to say that because the aims of the development is focusing on the cultural and textile art design who used to support the local economy by creating social innovation to point out the guideline of the value creation from the cultural heritage of the ethnic groups. It will cause the cultural impacts and expand for the community economy promotion through cultural tourism and creative industry. I say that this approach and this approach will be the guideline for implements to the 2016 Constitution of the Kingdom of Thailand that have established the right for responsibility for the local people, community, and government to preserve the local knowledge, arts and culture, and customs through collaboration, support, protection, preservation, and use of the public space for activity. This is about the cultural preservation and promotion programs at all top, influenced by the ideology of capitalism and globalization, both from the national policy and everything in Thailand. So I would say that for the National Economics and Social Development Plan, Volume 12, and Social Development Council in 2017 also aim to develop economic strength and supporting medium and small size entrepreneurs to use innovation and digital technology to increase the value and the profits of the product and services in the cultural tourism industry and focusing on the value and benefits from local knowledge and cultural heritage of creating the new artwork. The new work art with respect on the ownership right of the intellectual property. So this is a mechanism to lead the local community economic development with local culture and the groups in creative art based on cultural, socio-economic sustainability according to those national plan policy, and those goals overlaps and align with the effort of the Queen Surrogate of Thailand and craft promotion programs such as OTOP. You mean OTOP 1 Tambun 1 product. And say that it was initiated in the early 2000s by Thaksin Shinawatra government, causing the popularity in the using local product, handmade and handicraft from communities such as the weaving cloth or silverware because of using the traditional materials through and technique for the production. And that's why I need to show the significant and really important. So this social trends have continuously increased within the Kingdom of Thailand. Regardless do this is affected by Her Majesty Queen Sirikit vision. Her Majesty Queen and seen have seen very beyond to the Thai people in invaluable knowledge, culture, and truth, which show idea, creativeness, identity, popularity, traditional beliefs, and emotional, social condition, and economic, including local ethnic handicraft, so preserved for the next generation. So that's why the Queen series has support the production of the handicraft since the mid of 1970s through her foundation, primarily as a sort of the supplementary income and the pathway to more deeply understand the past, present, and the future. That's why. Okay, the contribution to the study that why these empirical results either at the individual the researcher has experience in creating knowledge by using research and development or R&D, research the integration of the cultural study and textile design. So the development of the knowledge from cultural study be a cultural product for, for the tourism industry. So the educational institution or academic society gain in-depth knowledge in specific area, like the ethnic groups, culture, especially the principle of the culture-based art design in fabric pattern design is create the cultural designing model for the cultural heritage conservation through the textile art design industry. So for the community got the templates and guidelines of the intellectual property, there will be a unique cultural identity for promote the Surin city and community economy. So the steel handicraft-led groups and local entrepreneurs through steel production, through export, national and internationally as the creation of the identity of their cultural products as the publicity of the cultural heritage uniqueness, local wisdoms of Surin province. It is a guideline to implement the policy for cultural, social, and economic development. Grassroots or cultural community based on the concept of creative economy, like the findings provide to bring some information to a leader in government, organization, and community for effective implementation and to understand the situation of the changing entire society and influence of the globalization, technology, and capitalism in terms of social, cultural, economic development. So in the need to prepare some implementation for strategies to preserve the cultural heritage that can go along with the fashion or tourism industry. That's mean like the contribution of the study, kind of the benefit. Okay, so let's go to the objectives of the study. Like the specific objectives. So the study poses through specific goal. The first one is to describe the background, characteristics of Prakurm, and seeking for the cultural identity of Prakurm as the cultural heritage of the Thai-Khmer ethnic groups in Surin province. So the second, or number two, to apply design to the new applied fabric patterns from those cultural identity on the cloth for the cultural heritage preservation of the Thai ethnic groups in Surin province. Like here, we have two objectives. So let's go to the area of the study. Like a community that I use the selection for to be the area of the community for the study. So I choose in Surin village, Sador village, Truk village. So because all of these villages, they are in Surin district, Surin province, Thailand. Because this is just only the only groups of the village that they have the only Prakurms or ancient Khmer silverware or handicraft. So just only one place in Thailand because they have in this village only. That's why I use them to be our case study area. And so I'm going to talk about the fate, like the key informants and the group participants when I'm doing research in the area. So I divide into two steps, two phases. Like the phase one I use for for the research, and for the phase two is for the development. That's why I told you I use integration disciplinary or integration between research and development, R&D, or cultural and study and material side or fashion design, and merge together with interdisciplinary. So the phase one I use about the research to study the Prakurm and cultural identity. So the key format were 30 Smith, because by the purposive selection from 10 Smith from Chok village, from Sador, and from Kwasinakin village. So in that district, in province. For the phase two in terms of the development. For the developed one, I apply those patterns, traditional patterns, to be newly applied fabric patterns, so by 9 designers. And development too, we have to apply fabric patterns on the cloth, because by the silk weaver. So we have so many group participants to join in my research project. As you can see in the picture, this is the group of the community, group of silversmith, and the second one is the group of the designer, and the third one is the groups of the silk weaver. So we're talking about the methodology, about the qualitative research. Or the research was the qualitative research with the approach of the research and development that I mentioned before. So the method will follow that step one in kind of the research. We use qualitative approach with the key informants, like an in-depth interview to those key informants, like they are silversmith. For the second one, we use focus group discussion to the confirms of the cultural identity by group participants, or in terms of like a FGD. So for the step two, we use in terms of the development, we use the designing is about by the designer who join in our research project, and creation of production. We use the weaver who try to build up the patterns on the cloth in the real cloth for the developments by the weaver. So about the data collection that I said before, we have two objectives, 1 and 2, about the content, about the source for key information and data collection and the analysis. I will focus to the data collection we use in the step 1 of the research. We use a qualitative approach, we use in the interview with the interview form, observation form to the first step for the in-depth interview. And then we use a descriptive analysis for the analyze method. So, and the second one is the same, the qualitative approach as well, but for its discussion, focus group discussion, and we use a discussion form. This is the method we use for analysis is about the descriptive analysis as well. For the third one, we added about the document study with the content analysis, because we need to conform the knowledge from the grounded people, and for the secondary data that to confirm is the same or not. And if for the step 2, the development, for the designing, we use observation form and the workshops discussion, like a form and participant observation form. In here, the step of the designing by the designer, we use a descriptive analysis method to analyze it in step 2. And for the viewing, we use in-depth interview form and then observation form, because the doing the viewing by the viewer. So in terms of the analysis, we use the descriptive analysis for analysis the data. So there are too many steps for in this research. Okay, And this is, you can see like at the Conceptual Framework. And you see here, you can see for the first already idea is come to be the research one. Have to be the step one. We used to study the Prakurm with the in-depth interview for group discussion in here. And after that, we get the knowledge from the theorist. We come to the study and research two. The step two is cultural identity by confirm for group discussion to confirm cultural identity by the group participant. They come to join at the second step. And the third step is about flow here. We get to the development one is designing. So by the designer, they have to design everything. Design from the sketching, drawing, like and everything. So we use instead of the designing by the designer in here. And then the step 4 and the development 2 weaving. So here they would do it by the weaver, or the technique we use for the room is weaving. And here is like the flow of conceptual framework, the flow of the step of the procedure that I try to show you. Okay, this is the picture that I do in result in the first step, result 1 in the interior observation into the area to the theorist who have the knowledge about the Prakurm and cultural identity. And then the second one, if we try to do forward the research to FGD of a group for group discussion, we use this in to confirm and then to confirm about the cultural identity of Prakurm. And the development one, this is a picture about the designing or the application, where the designing from the cultural identity to be the textile art design. It's mean like the fabric pattern on the cloth. So they do it from the designer. They'll come to join in group participant in the research team. And the last one is a number 2, development 2 is a weaving. This is kind of the development from the weaver. They come and join and to build in the real fabric on the cloth. For an example, that show is the realistic after when is how it look like to be on the cloth, like the fabric pattern that we design to be the real on the cloth. Okay, so now let's go to the result of the study. For there are 5 patterns of the Prakurm, 5 patterns of the Prakurm, Thai-Khmer ethnic groups. So there are the patterns of Glib Boa. The second one, the patterns of Mengda Rang Hair. The third one is pattern of Jao. The 4 patterns of Prakurm flower. And then the patterns of Mayum seed. So these are the patterns of the Prakurm, like silver bead or Khmer silverware of the Thai-Khmer ethnic groups. As you can see, so the first one, this is the Prakurm of Lotus Flower. So they have the physical, the patterns and the cultural meaning or the cultural identity. So the base of the meaning from the research said that show the beliefs, winter power, show the purity and fortune, and they have some doctrine, show the respectfulness and humanity value, like the spiritual anchor of the faith. So the second one, Mayum seed, is like the fruit or local fruit. So it reflects the beliefs in the way of life. The meaning as the symbolic of the popularity and show the doctrine and show the value. The some that you can see here. So Prakurm flower is a community flower. Yes, the flower in the community. And because here it is it reflect. It is symbolic of the pattern that reflect the beliefs and have the meaning, have the doctrine and the value. So mostly on the faith or the ritual or worshiping in terms of the symbolic, something like that. So the third one is hair. Is about the base of hair is is a tool for catching fish in the river. So it becomes the patterns of the Prakurm because it have like the cultural identity or cultural meanings of the beliefs, have some meaning, doctrinal value as well. And so the jaw, okay, last one is the jaw. So it's a system of the symbolic, like the symbolic or the pattern that reflect the beliefs, the meaning, symbolic, and the value. So these are the patterns of the cultural identity on Prakurm. But for the next one, for the next page, we confirm by focus group discussion, we can find out that the cultural identity or the unique of the pattern, they are mostly, they have three patterns. The first one is the pattern of clipboard, the patterns of Mandaranghe, and the pattern of jar. This is a traditional pattern, which have the very long history. And then we take those patterns or traditional unique as a cultural identity to create, to design, to sketch the pattern and to design to be fabric patterns on the cloth by sketching. These are the procedure that have been created by the designer. You can see, and this is to show when the weaver have finished, have done their weaving, and we can have the result. That this is an example of the weaving cloth that you can see on the cloth. Is kind of the silk cloth patterns of clipboard. This is shown example when by the weaver. Okay, these are the silk cloth patterns of the Mandaranghe, and the last one an example of the silk cloth pattern of Jao. So I want to say that from the cultural identity to be fabric design of fabric pattern on the cloth. So there were uniquely traditional identity of the beads pattern in Surin. So they consist of the pattern of lotus, the patterns of net, of jar. So these, they have this unique, they have three traditional identity were developed and designed in the production of the three patterns of the applied magnitude of fabric pattern design. So, and I want to say that they have the true example. This traditional pattern, they have the cultural identity can reflect the meaning, can reflect the culture or cultural identity or ethnic identity of the Khmer people in the area. So, because of I have to say so sorry for my accent or my English are not so strong. So, but I want to say that thank you so very much for your listening, for your attention. Thank you so very much. Thank you, and I'm so delighted to have any question that you can send me by email. Okay, and thank you so very much. Thank you for Northern Illinois University for the opportunity for the present today. Thank you.